Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna be doing a what I eat in a day. This has to be my most requested video next to what's your workout plan, what do you do to work out. This is like tied up there with that. By the way, the workout video, y'all are running that up. It's crazy. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you guys find it so helpful. That makes me really happy. I see literally every last one of you that subscribes. I see all the people that send me like comments and everything on Instagram. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. And so for this video, another highly requested video, I'm gonna take you guys through everything that I eat in a day. I just wanted to cover a couple things before we get into it, just like I did the workout video, to make it a little bit easier for you guys and just to answer the overall questions before we get into it. So number one, my overall diet is a mixture of plant-based and pescatarian. So I don't do meat or dairy. I do make an exception in the mornings. For my omelets, I use eggs and turkey bacon. I don't use turkey bacon all the time, but I do use eggs all the time for breakfast when I do have omelets. I haven't found like a shortcut for that yet. I did find a shortcut for the turkey bacon. I'll show you guys that later. But my diet is mainly pescatarian and plant-based. I also don't do soy because soy affects your estrogen levels. And for me, it makes me break out a lot of times. So I don't mess with that. I like to keep my hormones straight. So no dairy, no meat, no soy. And then one of the reasons why, like, I've definitely experimented with like different ways of eating. I used to be a meat, I was about to say I used to be a meat eater. No, I used to eat meat like that, especially in college. I used to eat meat like that until I realized that, first of all, it made me feel like crap every time I ate it. Like, I don't think there was a single time I ate meat or dairy where I was like, I feel great after this, you know? Like, I always felt like shit after I ate. And so I was like, all right, this doesn't seem right. And then when I tried to like gain weight, you know, to like help build muscle, and when you start going to the gym, you're trying to sustain the muscle and all that. For some reason, like when I ate, especially like with meat and dairy in my diet, I would pick up weight, yes, but I would also pick up a lot of like unwanted weight in my stomach. Not a lot of unwanted weight. Not a lot of unwanted weight, but I would also like pick up a little bit of weight in my stomach, more than I wanted to. So in addition to feeling like crap every time I ate, I would break out fairly often. And it was crazy because I always used to break out like in one spot on my cheeks all the time. But I remember I always used to be breaking out. I was gaining weight in my stomach, and you know, like not a crazy amount of weight, but more than I was okay with, like a noticeable amount of weight in my stomach. And in terms of getting sick, like I would get sick a pretty normal amount, but still it would help to get sick less often. You know what I mean? And so since I've been eating pescatarian/vegan with no dairy, no soy, none of that, first of all, I don't get sick that often. I don't know if it's a coincidence. I don't know what's going on, but I just haven't been getting sick that often. Breakouts, unless I have something going on hormonally, unless I'm just around the time of my period, my skin is clear all the time. And again, like hormonally, food can fix a lot hormonally for sure. If you have something else going on hormonally, all the skincare in the world is not gonna fix it. You need to fix it with your diet. You need to fix it with food. And so that's, again, one of the reasons why I went plant-based / pescatarian. And also, like, the biggest bonus, the reason why y'all came here is because of the fact that I was not gaining weight in my stomach like that. I noticed no matter how much I ate, of course, like mixed with cardio and working out and all those things, which I was doing before, but I started noticing that no matter how much I ate with this pescatarian plant-based diet, I would not gain that much weight in my stomach, but I would gain weight and muscle everywhere else. So I was like, all right, this is a tried and true method for me personally. So yeah, you guys are gonna see what I eat in a day. If you have any questions, let me know, but we're gonna get into it. Realized I was recording that entire time. So welcome to my kitchen. We're just gonna be doing like the prep for everything else that we're gonna be eating this week. A lot of times, here's the thing about being vegan / pescatarian. it's not like you can just stop somewhere or like get food as quickly as somebody with a normal diet could, because there aren't a whole lot of vegan options. So when it comes to prepping, it is literally all about convenience, because if you don't have things that make it easy for you, convenient for you, you are not gonna wanna prep. You're not gonna wanna maintain all this stuff. So I got a bunch of gadgets in true Ray fashion. So this is like a little slicer. This helps me chop everything in literally like 2 seconds. I'll link everything down below, but this is a chopper. I have like a rice cooker for the quinoa, you'll see. And then I'm trying to think of the other thing that I have. Oh, a salad spinner, because I hate wet salad. So we're gonna prep everything today. This week I pre-washed grapes, so they're already like in this little container and ready to eat. And I just, you know, like stick them back in the fridge. I'm telling you, convenience, that's what helps me stick to this. All right, let's get started. So I usually like to start with the easiest things first. So for me, that's chopping up all these little veggies and everything that are gonna be used for like miscellaneous stuff during the week. So usually I like to use like 1.5 to 2 bell peppers. This is how I cut my bell peppers. It's easiest for me just to like split them in half and then rip the middle out. And then I'll usually do maybe 1 onion, like 1 large onion. And then I'm gonna go ahead and dice the onions and the bell peppers just like this, because I'm gonna throw them in a container together. But listen, this little slicing thing, look, I cannot speak highly enough about this. Please go get one. So now I'm just gonna stick them all into like this little container, 1/2 bell peppers, 1/2 onions, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and put the top on and move on to the tomatoes. I'm just gonna be using Roma tomatoes, and I'm gonna slice them like the long way first, just so that they're easy to chop, and then I go ahead and throw them in the slicer. And literally, this makes me so happy. So they're cut perfectly. And then I just go ahead and put them in a container. That took literally 30 seconds. And then I'm gonna put the top on and put that to the side also. And then I'm gonna get into cutting my strawberries. I usually just do the whole pack at once because it's the easiest thing to do. I don't always do strawberries. I really just like doing whatever fruit is in season. Usually strawberries are the safest option though. So this is everything I have like chopped up and prepared right now. This one is carried over from last week, so don't mind like all the stems and everything. I'm still gonna be finishing that this week. But I was able to chop up like the strawberries, the bell peppers, onions, and tomatoes all within like 10 minutes, which is crazy. That little chopper gadget thing, I'm telling you guys, I'll link it down below, but that literally saved my life when it came to meal prepping. So the last thing I'm gonna do is make the quinoa, and then I think we're done for tonight. So for the quinoa, I'm just gonna pour in 2 cups, as you can see here, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and pour it in. And then I'm gonna get 4 cups of water or broth. You could use either one for this, and then pour it in. Of course, me being clumsy, spilled it everywhere, but I'm gonna pour it back in there. And then if you're not using broth, I like to use a tablespoon of Better Than Bullion or this vegetable version. And then my secret to making sure that it blends in perfectly is literally just to put it in like a little bit of warm water, stir it around until you get like this darker color and it's all kind of like immersed in there. And then I'm gonna, you know, like stir it around a little bit more and then just pour it into the quinoa and then stir it around so that it's evenly distributed in the water. You do not want clumps, because trust me, like when your quinoa comes out salty, just don't do it. Don't do it. And then just a little tip for the people who don't make quinoa often, I've found that the perfect ratio is 2 parts water to 1 part quinoa. So however much quinoa you use, it could be 1 cup, 2 cups, a half a cup. Just make sure you're putting twice the amount of water in there. And when you do, it'll come out soft and fluffy like this. And then with mine, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the quinoa and just like spoon it into bowls. And I ended up making way too much. I probably should have done half the amount. But here it is. The Greek salad. This is one of my favorite things to make just because I love salads so much. So what I'm gonna do is start by cutting a half a red onion into slivers. And then I'm gonna take 6 or 7 diced campari tomatoes, I think they're called. And I'm just gonna like cut them up. These don't really do well in the slicer, so I like to cut them up manually. Then next I'm gonna cut up a half a cucumber that I've already sliced down the middle so that when I slice these, they automatically come off in like halves. So in this clip, you'll see that I've already washed off my lettuce and everything, so I have it in bowls. And now I'm just gonna start prepping the toppings that I've already cut up and then a few other extra things. So the first is gonna be kalamata olives, and then pepperocinis. So I'm just gonna start to fill these up little by little. The first thing I'm gonna put in is usually like the onions, and then next are the cucumbers. And then after this, I'm gonna put tomatoes in. And I think it's gonna be helpful to mention the fact that the tomatoes, since the tomatoes have juice, they tend to run. And if you keep it in the fridge for days, it's probably gonna run into whatever you have it in there with. So I like to put it next to cucumbers, which I know like won't get super soggy from the tomato juice. And then I put in feta and olives. And then here's what it looks like so far. And then the last thing that I'm gonna add are the pepperocinis. And then I'm gonna take these little salad dressing containers and fill them up with my favorite freaking salad dressing ever. I will never stop eating this salad dressing. This is Brianna's creamy balsamic salad dressing. And I'm gonna fill them up to the top just because I like a lot of salad dressing on my salads. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put the tops back on and then put them back into their little containers. Also, really quickly, I forgot to mention this. So that Brianna salad dressing you could get from literally anywhere. Any grocery store, they have it all over the place. This is me just putting the pepperoncinis in. But you can get it from anywhere. It's not like exclusive to one grocery store. So if you go to a grocery store, you'll be able to find it pretty easily. Listen, I don't know who has to hear this. Please season your salads. Like, I'm tired of people not putting spices on their salads. This is a Greek salad. It's supposed to taste like something. I grew up like putting spices on the salads or whatever. So that's just what I'm doing. I put on sea salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and some cracked peppercorns. I like the cracked ones better instead of like just the pepper you can shake on there. I think it has a different flavor. But this is what it looks like at the end of me seasoning it. It'll mesh really, really well when you put the salad dressing on. So this is what everything looks like. Nah, because I lost my mind when I saw this. These tops come with forks. So you literally don't even have to worry about bringing a fork with you. You just bring them anywhere. 10 out of 10. So for the salmon meal preps, I'm just gonna start off with freshly washed salmon. Then I'm gonna lightly coat in olive oil and then sprinkle with this seasoning, which is almost like a savory, salty, sweet kind of seasoning that my family makes. And then I feel like it's self-explanatory, but I definitely get both sides. And then one of the things that I like to do with the seasoning is just let it sit for maybe 10 minutes. And it goes from this to looking like this. And it's gonna be darker in color. You could tell that the spices kind of soaked in a little bit. And once they finish soaking in, I'm just gonna put it into a preheated air fryer and put it in for about 7 or 8 minutes. And then in the meantime, I'm just gonna do my greens. So usually I like to do kale or spinach. I definitely like interchange both, but I think today I'm gonna do baby spinach, which again, you could get from anywhere. And I'm gonna put in about 2 handfuls of spinach. And then it's gonna heat up. As you guys know, spinach kind of cooks fast. And I don't really like the taste of spinach. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I eat it because I know it's good for me. So I'm gonna season these things heavily. And I'm just gonna stir them around, keep them moving to keep them from getting kind of slimy. And then I'm gonna add some garlic powder to it. And then the very last thing that I like to add is the minced garlic. The reason why I add this at the end is because I don't like overcooked minced garlic. Like, it'll warm up with the rest of the spinach and everything, but like I said, I like to add it at the end. So then after it's all cooked, I'm just gonna go ahead and add them to some meal prep containers that I've already put some quinoa in. And the spinach got a little bit softer than I would have liked it to. That's one of the reasons why I prefer kale. I 90% of the time like to go with kale. But like I said, I'm just gonna fill these containers up, and then I've steamed a sweet potato, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fill the other side with like a half a sweet potato. And then around this time, the salmon's also done, so I'm gonna just take it straight out and put it in the meal preps. So these are my finished meal preps. Look how pretty and nice everything looks. I just love it. All right, if you're watching this right now, let me just say this. A lot of people are not gonna wanna make their omelets fresh in the morning. So if you're one of those people, go ahead and skip to like the meal prep version of this. But I prefer to make my eggs fresh every day. So I just season them with I use 2 eggs specifically, and then I season them with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then, beat the eggs, whisk the eggs. And then in a pan, I'm just gonna kind of saute some veggies that I've meal prepped before. These specific ones though aren't the ones that you saw me meal prep in the beginning. I literally always eat the same thing. So this is from a completely different day. But after I saute them and they get a little bit warm, I'm just gonna add some basil to it, just because I think the flavor adds a really nice touch to the omelet. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and pour my eggs in. And so this is what it looks like. And I always have trouble flipping my omelet, so I take like a little spatula type thing and just kind of like go around the edges to loosen it. And then I'm gonna try and flip it. I still get eggs everywhere. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So you'll probably see a little bit on the stove. For those of you looking at this recipe, yeah, this looks nice, but I'm not gonna have the time in the morning. What am I supposed to do? Let me just say, I got you. Meal prep eggs. So we're gonna start out with 6 to 8 eggs, and then I'm gonna season it with some smoked paprika, which basically takes the place of bacon in terms of flavor. I still like that smoked flavor. Organic garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder. By the way, if you guys see that juice on the side, it's literally just from cutting some things. Onion powder, some ground black pepper, and I'm gonna just whisk it all together the best I can. So the next thing I'm gonna do is just add some dairy-free cheddar, which I use the diet brand. It tastes the most like cheddar to me. And then I put in about a 1/4 cup of onions, a 1/4 cup of bell peppers, and then I'm just gonna put in the remaining basil I had. And then after that, I'm just gonna add in a little bit of tomatoes, and then I'm gonna stir it all together, and that'll make the mixture that we're gonna put into the muffin pans. And at this time, it's a good time to just add however much more of what you want. Literally all of this is done to taste. So next, I'm just gonna pour the mixture into these muffin pans, and it's enough to make 12 of them. So I usually eat about 3 a day, and this is pretty much the omelet recipe. This was my first time actually pouring it into muffin pans and making little, I guess they call them quiches, but they were actually really good. I was surprised. If I don't have time in the morning and I'm just on the run, I would definitely use this recipe again. So I would recommend it. This is just an overview of what all the meal preps look like, and now we're done with food. So last but not least, we're gonna do a smoothie. I juiced something in here earlier, so excuse the blender. But I'm gonna take this 3-berry blend from Costco, and then I'm just gonna pour in some berries. I would say maybe 2 cups, 1.5, 2 cups of berries. And then I'm gonna put a large handful of baby spinach in. And then I'm gonna pour in maybe a cup of coconut water. And then a cup of pineapple juice. I've never given exact measurements, so I'm really trying to eye it here. Yeah, a cup. I have no clue what happened to the clip of the bananas going in, but with this smoothie, I would say put in about 1.5 or 2 bananas. And then I'm gonna grab these cute little smoothie things. I bought these off of Amazon. They just make my brain so happy. They're so aesthetically pleasing. So I'm just gonna fill up 2. And I draw my limit at 2 because these smoothies start to get kind of weird if you keep them around for a while. I prefer to make mine fresh, but if you want to meal prep, this is how you would do it. Like I said, just keep them around for only 2 days at a time. No more than that. Alright guys, so I definitely forgot to film an outro for this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna be doing a lot more food videos in the future, probably like some cook with me's. I'm gonna continue to do the meal preps. This isn't the entirety of like what I eat. This is only the part that I prep. So when I do like a what I eat in a day, you guys will see like everything that I pair with what I've already made. So that's it. I hope you guys have a good day, night, whenever you watch this, and I will see you in the next video.